What's up, everybody? Thank you for checking out the show. This podcast was filmed exclusively for odds.com. Make sure you click the link below. Go check out the full replay on odds.com as we break down UFC Fight Island 8. Lerone Murphy taking on Douglas Silva de Andrade. Mouthful of a name, this guy. Murphy is undefeated, 9-0-1. Douglas is 26-3. A ton of experience, just so much experience on this guy. And this is another one of those fighters that may have lied on his birth certificate, right? He does not look very good for his age and his fighting career with all that experience. Lerone Murphy is another one of these fighters that I have labeled as a bet on. I want to bet this kid. He's got everything I'm looking for, and he's improving every single time we see him. He attacks that low calf kick. He is fast. He is athletic. He has excellent boxing. He's got nice combinations, and that's what I'd like to look for. Good combinations, never one and done. And he attacks the body. Anytime anybody gets in there and works the body, I talk about it all the time. You're all probably sick of hearing me talk about the body, but it's true. When these guys go for the body, you're just draining your opponent's gas tank, and then you cash in on that later in the fight. Rounds 2, round 3, your ribs hurt. It sucks to breathe. You're not getting as much air in those lungs. Love that approach, and that's all this kid does. When he gets taken down, that's been a hole in his game. It's something he needed to work on, but we saw some improvement. Not his last fight because it was too short, but the fight before that, he does get taken down, but he never accepts bottom position. He attacks off of his back. He's got an improved get-up game. He's always trying to get back to his feet, and he damn near won the fight with Tuhugov off of his back with elbows and shit like that because he just doesn't accept when someone takes him down. He's got such filthy ground and pound. You do not want Lerone Murphy on top of you. He's got those long, lanky arms that if he gets on top of you, it's even worse than striking with him because the way he knocked out Ricardo Ramos, holy crap. Like, Ramos thought he could play jiu-jitsu. Ramos thought that he was safe on his back because he's so long and he could keep Lerone Murphy in his guard. But Murphy just uncorked on him from a spot that Ramos really just never saw coming. It's because of those long, lanky arms. And like I said, he puts every ounce of that power he's got into his ground and pound just as much as he does on the feet. And he's going to have a 5-inch reach advantage here in this spot against Douglas. Now, Douglas de Silva de Andrade, I put way too many days there in that name. He is mini Vitor Belfort. If you took prime TRT Vitor Belfort and you hit him with a shrink ray, just shrunk him down here to 145, that's what you get with Douglas Silva de Andrade. This guy plods forward. He walks his opponents down. He's heavy on his feet, but then he flurries in. He explodes. He looks to blitz forward and knock you out, hit you as hard as he can. But he hasn't fought at all in 2020. That's a concern for me. This guy has a history, a long, long history of injuries. He's 35 years old now, and he has been very, very inactive as of late. He's coming off of a full year-long layoff. And his last fight, he went to war with the ghost of Renan Barão. Renan Barão, the former champion, the guy that probably shouldn't be in the UFC anymore. I mean, Douglas beat him, but it wasn't like he ran away with it. It was close. It was competitive. It went all 3 rounds. He didn't knock him out. Like, that's not a good look. You don't want to be in that spot in this day and age. So if you haven't figured it out, Lerone Murphy is the pick. And I think that this card is going to be very, very chalky. Lerone Murphy is minus 275 at this point. And if we're talking line value, I think that's a little wide. I don't necessarily like that level of chalk on him, but I do think he wins. I definitely would not be looking to back the underdog on Douglas on the flip side of that thing. Maybe you look for Lerone Murphy by knockout. I mean, Murphy's cranking up his finishing ability, and he's got a lot of round 1 stoppages. We don't know what kind of shape or durability-wise Douglas is going to be in at this stage of his career. Murphy wins inside the distance is minus 110, about even money. Maybe not a bad look. With that reach advantage, with the youth advantage, speed advantage, I think there's a pretty good chance he can get that knockout, but Silva's so hard to finish is the only problem. He's only been knocked out once. He's been knocked out once. He's been submitted once. And you know what? That's something else I didn't think about is Lerone Murphy. He's got a nasty front choke. This guy jumps on people's necks when they never see it coming. And he's got fast twitch muscle. He's got a squeeze on him like nothing else. And, you know, I would be a little out of my mind to maybe sprinkle Murphy by submission. I think there's a chance Douglas tries to close the distance and come in for a takedown, and maybe Lerone snatches his neck. There's a shot. I don't know. Murphy inside the distance is probably the way to go here if you're going to bet it. Murphy probably worthy of being a parlay piece, in my opinion, in this spot. And that's about all I got for you. I haven't bet it yet. I haven't parlayed him yet. This might be a round robin type of card. You know, pick your favorite 4 favorites and then just toss them in a round robin parlay where it's all two team parlays. So if one gets beat, you're not dead. The other one's all cash and kind of make up the difference. I wouldn't mind that approach here on this one. Yeah, we got a lot of love in the chat here for Murphy by knockout. Nathan, what's up, my friend from Australia? Tuning in from all around the world. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. And you know what? Lauren or Lerone Murphy? That's a good question. If we're talking about the name pronunciation, I'm pretty sure it's Lerone. If we're talking about the fighters, I mean, you know I'm a fan of Lucky Lauren Murphy. I like my girl. Nick asking me to explain the round robin. Yes, my friend. So basically what a round robin is it's a parlay setup, all right? Let's, for the sake of argument, say 3. You pick your 3 favorites on the card. They're all around minus 200. A 2-leg parlay at minus 200 apiece should get you even or plus money, barely, and that's not a bad approach. So what you're going to do is you've got fighter A, fighter B, fighter C. You parlay fighters A and B, that's 1 parlay. You parlay fighters A and C, that's a 2nd parlay. You parlay fighters B and C, that's a 3rd parlay. That is a round robin. You're going to use all 3 of those fighters, and you're going to match them up with each other each once. So you're going to use each fighter that you pick. Now, when you do a round robin, a lot of websites, a lot of, sports books, especially if you're online, if you're using a legal sports book, most of them will have a selection where you can just checkbox round robin and it will calculate all that for you. So the more legs you add, obviously, the more dangerous it gets, the more expensive it gets because it's incremental each additional leg that you add. If you're doing a 5-person round robin parlay, 2-leggers, that's 10 parlays instead of just being the 3 parlays for the 3-legger, if that makes sense. So you got to be careful because the more legs you add in, the more expensive it gets. It can add up really, really quickly. So like I said, 3 or 4 maybe is kind of the sweet spot of where you can do it. Not a bad way to play favorites, in my opinion, as long as you're extremely confident on them. Real, hey, we haven't talked about Hooker Chandler yet. That's going to be next week's show, I believe. So don't worry. I will have that all figured out for you by Monday, and I'm going to get an article out on it on odds.com as well. Speaking of which, I do need to ask you all, do me a favor. I do not only video content for odds, but I do written content for odds as well. And if you go to odds.com, you click the UFC tab, most of that content is going to be from your boy. If you like the reading rather than tuning in and listening, or if you wouldn't mind just helping your boy out and click a couple buttons, make sure the website gets some traffic, go check out my articles on odds.com.